Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Anton's butterfly. And as he gets up on the block, I like what we see. I'd like to see that his hips come up just a little bit, because what's going to happen is if we get those hips up, it almost makes your body like a slingshot in the water. Okay? You're going to move forward. You're not going to have to move your hips up. They're still above the center of gravity. But as you get taller, what's going to happen is your center of gravity is going to rise. And if your flexibility doesn't keep up, you're going to want to keep your hips down low. You see that among a lot of my college swimmers. So we work on flexibility. Okay? If we take a look at this, here's a start. You jump up instead of in. We don't necessarily need to jump up. I like the use of the dolphin kicks. One thing, if we were to look at your body in the water, those shoulders are pretty parallel. Okay? If we can get your shoulders up, probably about that angle, what it does is it allows you to get more out of your up kick, not just kick. You know, when we think of our kick, we think down, 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 kicking down. Okay? But if we can get you kicking on an up kick, then we're going to be in much, much better shape to be able to go through this and be able to get a lot more power. We're a little bit short on the finish. You're much better on the strokes where you don't take a breath. Okay, and I realize you need to take a breath, but what happens is you notice, if we zoom in a little bit here, what you notice is that as you come up to take that breath, it drops your hips down. We don't want to see that happen. We want to see those hips stay up on top of the water. Okay, let's use those walls. Let's stay underwater and use that dolphin kick. Now here's what I want to point out here. See right there where the elbows bend? Okay, that's right like that. When you drop your elbows like that, all the power that you establish early on in your stroke, you see right here, you've got that out sweeping skull. That's a good catch. Right there, the elbows start to bend. You never quite finish your stroke the way you want to, and now you're out of the water. You're out of the water at kind of an angle about like that. Okay? Get that quick breath. The other thing is you can see that knee bend is causing your hips to drop. So for every inch that you bring up your head, it drives your hips down probably a quarter inch. Okay? Quarter inch difference in the hip position in the water can be a big difference in terms of the amount of energy that you have to expend. Okay? You want to keep those hips up on top of the water. The way you do that is by pressing your chest, getting a quick breath and getting it back down, and then working that second kick. Okay, if we can get that second kick going and keep those hips up on top of the water, this instantly becomes a pretty light and easy butterfly. Right now it's pretty labored. When you go back home, if you can do some butterfly swimming with a snorkel on, it's going to make life a lot easier for you. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to practice keeping your hips up on top of the water. If you can do that, you're going to have yourself a very strong looking butterfly. Let's take a look at it underwater now. Alright, we're going to take a look now at Anton's butterfly, and I like the streamline here. You can see it. Didn't want to put that line there. You can see he holds his streamline here the way he didn't on the backstroke. The thing is, he needs to hold it a little bit longer because he's going to separate his hands and see how he comes right up. And what's ironic is I was just listening to your review of last year's video, and it's the same thing, body position. Amanda said you're almost standing straight up and down. We want to level that out so that we don't break the surface at such a steep angle. And the way we do that is by holding on to the kicks right here. Maintain the streamline, kick, kick, kick. Even if you go deep, we just want to maintain that kick, and you'll get that up there eventually. You've got too strong a kick to just let it stay. You see a lot of up and down in the butterfly, throwing your hands down, throwing your chest down. What I'd like to see right here, you can see right now the head's coming up, and that's going to force your hips down a little bit. Your hands right now are pressing straight down, which is also going to force your hips down a little bit. If we can take and get these elbows, get those hands down there so we can press the water back that way, it's going to keep your hips up on the surface of the water where we want to be. And if they stay up on the surface of the water, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to maintain stroke. You see this? And you can notice a difference when you don't take a breath. The hips stay up on top of the water. You finish the stroke nice and cleanly. When you come up here, you can already see the head's lifting. And now look at where the hips are, and look how much harder it is to finish your stroke. You can keep those hips up on top of the water, and the way you do that is by lifting your head early, or I should say taking a quick breath early and getting your hands down deep. Then you're going to be able to finish the stroke much, much more effectively. Okay, right there, even when you pushed off the wall, we're not dealing with a dive this time. Not as good a streamline. And use your kick. You've got a pretty good kick. We've seen it enough weeks to know that you've got a solid kick, but you've got to be able to use it. The big thing, though, comes down to body position. Getting those hands down like that not pressing them out and then pressing straight down as we go along. Okay, zoom back out here. The other thing that's going to do is, you can see even now you're starting to get tired. Those elbows start to drop right there. Not as bad, but yeah, right there. Those elbows are starting to come by first. We want the hands to lead the way. So instead of your elbows looking like that, we want this to be a little bit straighter with those hands coming in underneath your body. You've got the powerful kick. I know from backstroke you've got the body position. You just got to start putting things together, and in this case I think it's a case of your body outgrowing your strength a little bit. But that's going to come with time, so I don't think you need to worry too much. But we do want to establish a good feel for the water, good catch early on in our stroke.